Hi friends, it's Sister Marla again. Often when we're growing up, we're asked that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And even as we get a little older, it might take the form of, where do you plan to go to college? Or what workforce or field do you plan to enter? Even as adults, we sometimes joke as though maybe we haven't quite grown up yet. Our gospel this weekend invites us to ask ourselves a much deeper question. Rather than asking, what do I want to be when I grow up? The question is, what is it you want to do with your life? Or as Mary Oliver would state it so beautifully, tell me, what do you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? 2 weeks ago we celebrated the feast of the baptism of the Lord, which inaugurated Jesus' public ministry. And then last weekend we saw him get right to work at the wedding feast at Cana. And now we hear him teaching in the temple, when he takes the scroll and unrolls it, and finds that passage in the prophet Isaiah where he says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because God has anointed me. And he goes on to talk about why he has come. He answers that question, what is it you plan to do with your life? And he reminds us that he has come to pay special attention to the poor by reminding them and sharing with them the joy of God's deep love for them. He'll give sight to those who are spiritually or physically blind. He'll untie the bonds of oppression and captivity, freeing people from anything that either holds them down or prevents them from living a full life. This passage in Isaiah is often referred to as Jesus' inaugural address. But rather than being just a reading for one given weekend, what this passage says is it tells us the stage that has been set for the whole ministry life of Jesus. He's going to devote his life to putting society in right order, to lifting up those who have been cast down or who are not a part of religious or prosperous circles. And he'll challenge both oppressive people and systems. He speaks God's truth directly and with courage. And we know this message was embraced by some and rejected strongly by some. In fact, stirring the waters for those who use their power and authority wrongly is a lot of what led to his death. For we know that prophets are not always welcome. So the question for us then, friends, as followers, not just as imitators of Christ, but as followers, how do we move from what do I want to be to what do I plan to do? And hopefully our answer leads us to realize more fully that this life we have been given is not about us. We don't live this life only for ourselves to make sure that we are happy, that we're content. This life is about how we use it to improve the lives of others. Because of our baptism, when we were anointed priest, prophet, and king, and then later in the anointing at our confirmation, each one of us can echo those same words. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because God has anointed me. And then it's up to us to finish the phrase. Will it be that we'll be serving the poor? Will we speak to oppressive systems and people? Will we stand up for those who don't enjoy the rights and place in society that we enjoy? Are we ready to follow as disciples so closely that we too might risk rejection or the loss of status or comfort? If yes, we're on the right track in being those strong disciples of the Lord. And if not, then we have to re-look at that question and evaluate it once again in light of the gospel, and to ask ourselves, what is it we plan to do with our one precious life?